Hey guys, Captain Harvey Wall here with Salty Dog Fishing Charters in Ocean Isle Beach, North Carolina. Throughout the summer, early fall months, I do a lot of shark fishing charters. We're pretty successful with it. And I wanted to show you the rig that we use. We can go over later on a different video, the rods and so forth that I use and where I fish for sharks. But in this one, I just want to show you the rigs that I use. So the rig is a 5-foot rig. This is the typical one that I use on my charters. It's a 5-foot rig, 400-pound mono, Bill Fisher mono. 12-aught mustad circle hook. I'll use a 3 to 4 ounce egg sinker, a couple of swivels, and there's two different sections of the mono. One is about 12, it starts out 12 inches before I put the swivels on, then the bottom section is about 4 feet. So what this allows me to do, I know it looks like a lot of hardware, but it's really not, and there's a utility purpose behind it. When the shark gets up to the boat, and most of the sharks that we'll catch on our charters are going to be 3 to 5 feet, very manageable. And as long as they're no bigger than about 4 feet and they're acting okay, I'll go ahead and pull them in the boat. We'll get a quick picture, we'll release them and get them back in the water. And we can release them unharmed. We're using circle hooks and so forth, so it's pretty easy to do that. But the reason that I use two separate pieces of mono and I have the swivel in the middle is when that shark's coming up beside the boat, provided he's not a larger one, I can reach out with gloves on, of course, grab onto this swivel, this upper section here, and pull him closer to the boat. He's only going to be 5 feet away. Pull him closer to the boat and then pull him into the boat. And that it makes things a lot easier. I don't have to gaff the fish. You certainly don't want to net a shark, and it just makes life a little easier. I've just learned to do it that way. A lot of guys will want to let the sinker go all the way up against the hook and so forth, and I don't really like that. And I have found that I get more bites on this one because you're not really tying your cut bait down to the bottom. This allows the cut bait to go up a little bit off the bottom with the current and so forth. This is going to hold you down. But anyway, this is what the rig looks like. And once I get done with the rig, I'll go ahead and show you. I like to put them just in a quart Ziploc bag. And in this case, I wrote on this a shark rig, 400-pound, 12-aught hook, 5 foot long, and I put the month and year that I made it. Although they don't really last that long, I'll probably end up with some at the end of the season that I could use next season. It's just nice to know when I got them. And all the stuff that I'm using, I'll link in the bottom below so you can see it. I've already cut the 4-foot length and the 12-foot length, and we'll go ahead and get started. So this isn't really a class on how to do crimping. You probably already know how to do that, and you can imagine that it's pretty easy to cut off a 4-foot length and a 12-inch length, so it's not that hard to do. So all we're going to do is crimp this 12-aught on. Very simple process. I like doing this as opposed to knots. I feel like it holds better, and with 400-pound mono, trying to tie a knot in it, that's tough. So we'll put our next swivel on. This is the 4-foot section, by the way. This is the business end, the end down next to the shark. And another reason for using 400-pound mono as opposed to using wire. I don't like wire. I don't want wire scraping up against the side of my boat. 400-pound will handle most sharks that I want to tangle with, and I just don't like wire. And the 400 pounds easier to work with. I can store it easily. It doesn't really get tangled and so forth. It makes life a little easier. If you go lighter, the sharks will bite through it. I've tried it as light as 100-pound, and that'll work 50% of the time on smaller sharks, say up to 4 feet. When they get a little bigger, you're going to lose most of your sharks, and then you're going to end up having a shark running around that's going to have a 4-foot section of mono and a hook in him. We caught one actually yesterday on a charter that had about a 20-aught hook right in the corner of his jaw. So I got my hook out and got the other person's hook out, and I could tell by the mono that they had hooked or tied onto the hook. They had used a mono that was way too small. I mean, it looked like it was probably 40-pound test or something. There was no way they're going to get any sizable shark on. So the next step is we're going to go ahead and go to this 12-inch section of leader, and we're going to tie on, crimp on the swivel. These swivels, the middle one is a 400-pound test swivel. It's there for the weight. I just want to match the leader weight. The upper swivel, I actually go with a much larger swivel, and that's what this one is. You can kind of see in front of my hand there that it's pretty sizable. The reason I do that is I'm not using my own equipment most of the time. Somebody else is. I'm on charters with people that are not used to reeling in big fish, and sometimes they will tend to try to reel in a little too far, and this keeps them from reeling the leader up into the eye, or if you have a roller eye or whatever, it just makes everything kind of nice and easy. So we've got this upper section done. We're going to slide our egg sinker on. I do like egg sinkers for this. Swivel on, and now into the original swivel here for the business end of the leader. Stick this in, and when I'm crimping, I do like to have about a 1/4 inch of the leader come out the back end of the crimp, and I want to push up the crimp pretty tight to the end, but I still want to have good movement. I don't want that to be very tight. So, and just crimp everything appropriately. And if you're not sure how to crimp, there's some other videos out there to do it. It's a very, very simple process, and you don't have to have a huge, expensive calibrated crimper. You can use crimping pliers that you can even buy from Amazon or Walmart. Bass Pro has tons of nice ones. This is our rig. It's done. This is the part that I was talking about. I can reach out and grab this with gloved hands on. I use like mechanics type gloves. I'll grab this, pull him up, see how he's acting. If he's acting, you know, somewhat tame, we'll go ahead and get him into the boat, and we'll do so safely. I'll have my charter client step back. I'll get him up, and then I'll grab the tail also, and maintaining control of his head and control of his tail, and then we'll get him into the boat. I'll use pliers, get the hooks out, and I'll take a picture or two, and we'll get him back. But again, once you make up a few of these, bag it up like this, find a watertight plastic box, put it in there, and when you're done with all your stuff, what I like to do is I like to put the 400-pound mono back in the bag that it came in, and these hooks that I really don't use for anything else other than shark rigs, drop it right back inside the same bag. And these crimps that match this size mono that I'm not going to use for anything else, drop it right back inside the same bag. The swivels I'll use for other stuff too, so there's no point in putting them in here. And then my building out back that holds all my tackle, I can hang this on the wall. I know it's for sharks. When it's time to make a few more, I've got everything that I need right here together, and I don't have to go searching for it. My crimpers stay out there too, so it makes everything nice, neat, and simple. If you have any questions, give me a holler. I'm easy to get a hold of. You can text me, 910-250-8459. If you want to find out more about the rigs, or if you want to book a shark fishing charter, you can also look at my website, which is fishoceanisle.com. Thanks.